All right, so for your sketch, right, once you have your references printed out, um, you are going to need to transfer it onto a blank sheet of paper, so that way you can tell what your image is going to look like. I thought it'd be helpful to have the like reference, the original reference, compared to like what I drew on top of it. That way you guys can see like how like the decisions I made when creating the sketch. All right. So on the left we have the original, and then on the right we have the original or the reference after I traced it. Um, so all of the shapes and lines that uh, like made up this person's face, I made sure that I copy that over, right? Notice that in a photo, you don't really have like solid black lines around things that you can just follow. You have to consciously make the decision like, okay, I'm going to um, make sure that people can see the chin, so I'm going to put a line there. Make sure people see the neck, so I'm going to put a line there. I'm going to make sure people can see the shape of the hair, so I'm going to put a line there, right? All of those things, um, they're not like straight up given to you the same way a cartoon is. Okay. Like the eyes, right? I just made a circle around, or I just outlined the shape of the eyes as well, right? So those things should be fairly obvious to do, right? That'd probably be the easiest part. The hardest part is actually choosing what not to put a line around, right? So if you notice this nose, right? A lot of people would assume, okay, she has a nose, so I'm gonna copy the entire nose, right? But what I saw was this right side of her, or sorry, this left side of her nose here it's like in white, right? Which means it's really, you're not really able to see this side of her nose. You're really only able to see like this small part here and her nostrils and this side of her nose here, right? I didn't draw a hard line to say that this is part of her nose as well. So that's what I mean by like figuring out what lines you don't draw. Okay, like some of you guys might draw this Cupid's bow right here because you think, oh, there's this shape here. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a hard line. But notice here, I didn't do that because to me, a hard line usually implies like an edge, right? There's like a hard edge for something, right? Um, Her lips, I did give the her lips a hard line around the top lip, but then the bottom lip has an incomplete line just at the bottom right here where I see that it's darkest. And then I gave it some shadow with the separated lines to represent like the parts that are still in shadow and keep this part of her lower lip in the light. Okay. So that's again like where you're gonna have to decide where do I put a hard line and where do I not put a line. Okay. Next thing is the shadows. So shadows, right? They're gonna be lighter. We can't just make it all black. If I did, then this entire thing would be in shadow and we wouldn't be able to see it. So we have to consciously think, all right, so the shadow ends here. So I'm gonna put lines here that create that like gray, right? That lighter value over here as well, and over here as well. Okay. Those that having those lines go in the specific direction that I put them in makes it look like it's following the shape of her face while also including like a darker value than this white, which makes shadow. Same with this side of the nose. This side of, if you can look in the original reference, this side of her nose contrasts with this side, right? So this is white, and then this is like a gray. So I wanted that here as well. I just followed the shape of the darker part and included these lines. Okay, same with this side of the cheek. Um, this side is in shadow while this part of her face is not in shadow. So I created those lines again right here. All right. Um, Down here with her hair, this is like mostly black. So I just like outlined that shape and then I shaded that in black. All of these little hairs here, only the parts that are in black are what I ended up going over or tracing. Everything else I kind of just left in white. A bit of a pattern as well on the shirt because I thought that that would help